Playing cards were invented in China sometime around the 9th century, and it would be a long journey to get to the 52 card deck we have today. In the 14th century, the predecessor to modern playing cards spread from Egypt to Italy and Spain, and later to Germany before eventually ending up in France. And throughout that journey, the suits changed from swords, cups, coins, and clubs to clovers, spears, hearts, and paving tiles that we have today. Today, playing cards are so ubiquitous that we take them for granted. And it's that ubiquity that helped the playing card industry make $493 million in the US and $679 million in Europe in the last year. So who's buying all these cards? And who's making money from them? If you're in North America, there's a high chance that all the cards you've ever played with were made by one company. The biggest manufacturer of playing cards is over 150 years old and makes $130 million a year selling a single product. But they're not the only ones selling them. If you're wondering how anybody makes money selling playing cards, it's only because you're not in the target market. But then who is?
Yeah, it's very cool niche. Like, I think most people don't even know it exists. But the people in the industry just sell mainly to magicians and someone who really needs superior handling quality.
Yes. Even though 20 million decks of cards are sold to casinos every year, the main market for playing cards is actually magicians. Why? Because magicians practice a lot. So much so that they account for a large part of the other 80 million decks printed each year. But in most cases, they're not buying the same decks as you and I. While most of us are spending $4 on our deck of cards, hardcore magicians and collectors are spending an average of more than $10 on decks with custom designs from boutique playing card companies. And they go through so many of them that they're usually sold in sets of 12 called a brick. Designer cards are an amazing way for artists to make money. And one graphic designer made just under $150,000 from designing a single deck of cards. And while anybody can pay to print their own deck of cards, not everyone can afford to do it. And the demand for these cards is so high, and the cost of making them so expensive, that an entire economy of crowdfunding playing cards emerged around them. There are over 5,000 decks on Kickstarter right now, and the most popular ones have each raised over $500,000. But when it comes to playing cards, aesthetics aren't the only thing that matters.
Most of my customers are really particular with how the deck feels, how it shuffles, how it fans, and they want to just use the decks to improve their magic performances and their cardistry performances.
Cardistry is the other big market for playing cards, and it's the art of using cards to do impressive visual tricks known as flourishes. Although not as popular as magic, cardistry still turns out over 1 million results on Google and even has its own convention. And because cardistry is all about the way cards look and feel when you're doing a trick, they go through decks even faster than magicians do. And that's why the most popular cardistry cards come once a season, just like a fashion line. And getting your hands on a deck from the spring-summer season of 2015 will cost you at least $50 today. $50 for a deck of cards might seem crazy to most of us, but there's a whole world of rare card collectors who routinely buy and sell decks worth upwards of $700 on auction sites, which makes it seem strange that most of us treat cards as such a disposable resource. And it's because of that the rarest cards are so rare, because few people ever thought of keeping them around. But that kind of scarcity is exactly what drives the market today.
This industry has insane potential because I think every once I show these decks, they're like, wow, I didn't even know you could get like, these cool designs. It's just like right now, they just take what they can get.
So whether you're a designer, a magician, a creator, or a collector, making money in the playing card industry isn't about the cards you're dealt in life. Because if you play your cards right, anyone can do it. Each week, New Money looks at a different industry to see how the people in it are making money. So if you liked what you learned, be sure to subscribe below and check out our other videos.